Welcome to the mess.
On the surface she looks fine, but what's inside ain't always in line. Life is good, life is bad. She's a mess, but a happy one.
Hi, I'm Little Happy Mess and welcome to my podcast. This episode is especially dedicated to girls and women, and it will tackle the issues depression as well as eating disorders and body image. Those three topics will be covered. Have fun! Quoting myself. You know, when I look into the mirror, I see this fragile version of me. I see this pain and I see the struggle. I just feel so helpless, so useless really. I don't know how to help this girl. Story time. Yes, so when I wrote this quote, which is a text again, but I just quoted myself out of the text I wrote. So when I wrote this quote, I actually was looking into the mirror and I didn't like what I see, but not in a way that I found myself ugly, but I wanted to smash the mirror because I hated the person looking back at me. I couldn't handle her, couldn't take her. So my psychiatrist actually said that this is a kind of psychotic already. And I was thinking to myself, well, how many people are psychotic then? Because there's so many people who have this like for a period of time or for a long time. Anyway, it's not good if you hate yourself that bad. Actually, when I wrote this down, I was really skinny. I was really fragile, like I said in the text, and my parents and my friends, they were actually kind of worried already, and all that I felt was this feeling of not being enough, of hating myself beyond the point that I can actually explain to people, and at the same time this urge to help that person, to hug her and be there for her. So it was kind of like somewhere in between there. So this is like this kind of not being able to take the person staring back at you from a mirror is different to problems with body image or eating disorders. So I want to talk about that now. It's for men, there is certain standards as well, of course, but I feel like that we girls or women are judged more and harder because the ideals for women or for females are very strict, and you can like fall out of the frame super quick or super easily. And it's a lot of pressure actually. So we get all those ideas of how we should look like and what we should look like, and what weight we should have and how our faces should look like and all of that. And then there's also social media, which is really bad too, I would say. So we're confronted with all of those ideas. And I remember that a workmate of mine, she once like lost a bit of weight, and then she came back to work. Some time passed, and then people were like complimenting her on how good she looks now that she's lost weight, and that she can be proud of herself and that she's so pretty now. And she got really confused. She came up to me and she was like, I actually didn't want people to comment on me losing weight because I didn't do it for a certain reason. And they all say I'm so pretty now. Was I ugly before? And that's the thing. So we kind of like always judge people, but especially when they gain or lose weight, or I don't know, anything happens that's worth to talk about, whatever. But we comment on people, men and women equally, and especially this weight gain, weight loss topic. It's an old one and it's really tiring. And yes, then I also know a lot of girls and women with eating disorders because they see all those super skinny, like super, super skinny girls and women on Instagram, and they feel like they need to look the same way. And I think that's very wrong because it has a lot to do with your body constitution. I think I could become skinnier from my body constitution and then be such a super skinny girl, but I probably won't. No, but what I'm saying is there's different body types, and like you're kind of like bound to what your body looks like in a way of how your bones are placed and whatsoever. So a thigh gap is just physically not possible for everybody, and it doesn't matter. It's really not that important to have that. And those are trends that are really dangerous and so pointless. Like, it's a gap between your thighs. Wow. Anyway, having said that, I remember that, me and my body weight, it's like phases. So, when I didn't eat much, everybody was complaining that I'm too skinny. Then I gained weight. I did a lot of sport, and I gained muscles, of course, but then a lot of fat too. So I was actually like, that was more Nina. And then I was too fat. I was having too many muscles. Like, people threw their opinions on me, and it left me really, really confused. And I wanted to take them and scream at them and ask them, so what do you want me to look like? What should I do? Wisdom. Yes, so I'll split this into 3 sections now. Our wisdom part. First of all, tackling depression or depressive symptoms, including self-harm, self-hurt, and of course self-image. I think the most important thing that we can do when we look into the mirror and we want to smash the mirror is to, even if we don't want to, but it's self-love. So that we show ourselves what we really love about us, what we really like about us, what we're proud of. Because when you're that angry at yourself, it's really just sadness, and you cover it up with anger. And it's usually nothing that you did that makes you angry. It's just the, like, existing makes you angry. And so what I do, for example, I sit down every morning and I have the self-love journal that a friend of mine gave to me because she knew I was struggling and that I always want to optimize myself and be better and whatsoever. This little perfectionist inside of me, and she said, no, you need to write down what you already like about yourself. And I think that's really cool, and I could recommend that to everybody. So every morning I sit down and I think about something that I'm happy about, that I'm proud of, and became a routine, and it's really, really good. It does really, really well. And this whole self-love thing has become a thing anyway. So there's a lot of Instagram pages or YouTube videos, of course, and many people give input, and I think that's really good. because self-love is important and it solves a lot, because you need to stick with yourself forever. So why not just enter a nice committed relationship with yourself? Now I'm being serious. Speaking of relationships, many people who struggle with self-esteem, self-love, their image of being pretty as well, and they struggle with that, and then they think if they enter a relationship, all of those troubles will go away because suddenly there's another person who tells you that you're beautiful, that you're many things. You know. Anyway, this is not good. I mean, it's good, of course, if somebody tells you that, obviously, but it should come from inside of you as well, because if you depend on somebody outside of yourself to tell you that you're beautiful, or that you're smart, intelligent, those are the same words. You know what I mean? Anyway, so if you need somebody outside of you to tell you how amazing you are, then as soon as that person is gone or changes the opinion or whatever, you go back to sadness, to depression, or to to wanting to hide or whatever. So it's important that that you love yourself first before you enter a relationship or before you give your love to anybody else. You're gonna stick with yourself forever, like I just said, and in order for a relationship to work as well, it's important that both parties are happy with themselves. So don't depend on your partner or anybody outside of you to tell you who you are and who you're not, and to tell you if you're beautiful or not. You are anyway. And now the second topic, which was body image. So body image and eating disorders. So first of all, if you look in the mirror and you think you're too fat or you're too skinny or you're not sporty enough, whatever, think about if that actually comes from inside of you, or if somebody or something outside of you tells you that. Because it's usually bullshit anyway, of course. But you need to feel like, do I really want to, and then whatever? Or is it just something outside of me telling me to? And if you're actually happy with yourself, if you find that out, well, perfect. And if not, why don't you, like, let's assume you're not happy with your weight because you feel like you weigh too much. Then why don't you just start a diet or start exercising? There's so many good free content online, but then also I think no matter where you live, there's a fitness studio close or a sports club you can join or whatever sparks joy. I think there's a sport for everybody, and not every sport is for everybody. Some people love running and others hate it. I love it. But I fully understand if somebody doesn't like it. But don't just sit there and complain and then look in the mirror and give yourself hate for looking the way you do, because if you want something, you need to change and you need to adapt new routines. And so act. Either accept yourself the way you are, or see what you can change. At this point, I'd like to mention my favorite fitness blogger, which is Pamela Reif. And she's been judged for being too skinny many times. And I think that's really wrong, because she actually explains why she's that skinny. She is the body type super skinny. So for her, it's harder to gain weight than to lose it. And I think it's wrong to say, yeah, she like she's not a good role model to people. I think that's really wrong because everything she does, she puts online for free, and you can just follow her routines. And if you have the right body constitution, you can look exactly like her, or different, but very sporty, very lean, and you give your body really good nutrients. Because she follows really strict diets and good diets. So yeah, I just wanted to have said that, because yes, it could be the case that those super skinny blah 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 fitness influencers, or not fitness influencers, just regular influencers or whatsoever, that they make you feel bad. But then I would only follow those who actually give out tips and hints how they live their life, or just not follow them at all. Like, if it makes you feel bad to see skinny people or whatever online, then don't follow them. A social media detox is always good. It's always good for me too, because yeah, you get so much. It's so noisy. Like on social media, it's noisy. Outside, there's so much noise around, and sometimes it's good to cancel out as much as possible. When it comes to eating disorders, of course, you don't need to follow strict diets or lose any more weight. Um, I think also self love is an important factor here, and that you love your body, not the way it is. It doesn't even have to go that far, but you love it as much as to put food inside it. And if you get into it, maybe healthy food helps you, or like gaining knowledge about nutrition. For me, that was really good, because from March till August I lost a lot of weight, and then I didn't eat properly anymore. So I actually kind of forced myself to eat 2 or 3 full meals a day. And it got easier when I started to learn about nutrition, what's really good for you. And it made me feel really good to know what I'm eating. So it actually became a hobby now. I also eat a lot of bullshit too, but not as much as before. And well, I actually started becoming vegetarian in August. Yes. And then when I cook at home, I actually just cook vegan. So I don't know, I would say I'm like 50% vegetarian and then 50% vegan. Um, so yeah, but I don't want to force my diet on anybody. It made me feel really good, to be a bit more conscious, and to know what's inside of my foods, to really praise a cheat meal. And yeah, that got me back on track. So I think that this would help people with eating disorder too, to like really know what's in your foods. And then also apps to track your calories. I think that's actually good, because we forgot, or we didn't know how much we could actually eat. So usually you assume that you have to eat far less, but we can actually eat a lot and maintain the same weight. So this is also like getting food knowledge, actually, because you learn how much calories do different foods have, and what constitution they have. So how much carbs are in there, and how many proteins, and that kind of stuff. And that's really good. And then I would like to make one last point, which is, girls, don't judge each other. Girls, we should support each other. If somebody loses weight, gains weight, has more pimples, doesn't wear makeup, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter. There's so many more things we should be concerned about and that we could talk about than judging other women. And we should support each other, give each other love, because usually we are all insecure. And how great would it be if you walk into the club and then the girls wouldn't be like staring at you like, oh, who are you now? All sassy. But actually like welcoming, like supportive, and like let's support each other. Girls should support girls. And last but not least, embrace your goofy selves and your goofy bodies. We are unique, or everybody's unique, and everybody is perfect just the way they are, no matter what they look like, because it's what's in here. Further material. So, like always, I'd like to provide some further material. This time it's a podcast that I love listening to. It's called Happy, Holy, and Confident by Laura Marlina Seiler. It's actually German. There's some interviews in English. You can check those out if you're native English or whatever. But it's more interesting for German natives, actually. And the second material I'd like to tell you about is a cookbook, which is actually by Pamela Reif, the fitness influencer I talked about, and she wrote a cookbook. It's called You Deserve It, and it's really cool because there's just healthy meals in there. It always says how many calories, how many proteins, how many carbs, and so on and so on. And she doesn't use any sugar, which is really cool because she has a lot of sweet dishes in there too. And they taste really good. Like you feel like you're cheating, but you're not, or just kinda, and it's really cool. So those two, the podcast and the cookbook that I would recommend you to listen to or to order online. Then I have an engaging question for you. So tell me, what empowering routines do you have every day to embrace self-love or love for others, love in general? Yes, so we're at the end of this episode. I hope you liked it. If you did, let me know on Instagram, little happy mess with underslashes in between, and also let me know if you didn't like it, or if you have a topic suggestion for me, or if you have any other kind of feedback. I'm happy for everything. You can leave it on my Instagram or here in the comments on YouTube. If you liked it, subscribe or follow me on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you're listening to this or watching this. And I wish you a great weekend. Stay fly and stay tuned, and I will see you next week.